Hello everyone and welcome to the new year. I figured it's time that creators have somewhat of a coordinated pricing strategy. And so I started by building a spreadsheet in Google Sheets. But then I realized, why not actually turn this into a mini app that is very accessible? It doesn't require you to understand how calculations work in spreadsheets and just makes this a very straightforward process. So you have to go to creativepricing.com to access this application. It is free. It is open to anyone. I'm not storing any of the data that you're providing. The only thing that I do is I have a Google tag installed that will allow me to understand how many monthly visitors I have on that page. Because in reality, hosting this page still costs money. So I just want to make sure that this is not there for nothing. And if you guys are using it, then it will stick around for a long time. You can also find the code on the Alana Project GitHub page, which means it is completely open source. If you want to create your own creator pricing calculator or you want to improve it and you don't want to improve it with me and make your own thing out of it. But if you also have feedback or anything, please just let me know and I will make sure to implement this. Okay, so how does this work? It has a 3-step process. The first one are monthly expenses. So this app calculates a rate based on what you need, not where you live, not the skills you may have or you may not have. It literally helps you to create a pricing strategy that is about your needs. So the first step is entering all of your monthly expenses. So let's say housing, food, leisure. You can, by the way, always edit these. So if you feel something is not correct, or maybe you have 2 different types of housing, maybe you have an actual house you live in, but maybe you also eventually bought a flat or something, then you can define details here as well. So let's just say this is housing and it's just rent. And let's say there's like 1,200 per month. Then category food is another, 850. And by the way, these prices, they are capped for a reason without currency symbol because I want people from anywhere to use this. So just think in your currency and then maybe art supplies, okay? And then like I showed you, you can add other things here, right? You can say like, oh, also have a pet, and maybe that pet cost me 80 something per month. Maybe it's dollar, maybe it's euro, I do not know. What happens is these are your monthly expenses and these are your yearly expenses. So the app takes your yearly expenses onto the next page and says, okay, let me know what else we need to add because we also have to pay taxes, right? So for example, in Germany, that would be 19% tax rate. There is an emergency buffer. Okay, maybe 20% is actually good. Maybe 25 would be better. You should actually reinvest some money. Social systems have been crippling around us. So you might want to think, what type of money do I actually need to invest for when I'm older? So maybe it's 10, maybe it's more. Also, obviously, is about your tools. Your tools will not be around forever. So maybe this is just part of your regular rates. Next chapter is billable time. We like to think that we're available 24/7, but if we're being very realistic as creators, that's not going to work out. We still have a life. We maybe have kids, and also you need to get sleep. So in my calculation, we have per year about 576 actually billable hours. Not answering emails, not doing social media, but actual billable hours. So then you go next. And this is where you can add a markup percentage. So you could say like, okay, I'm a senior in my industry. I have a markup and that markup is 30%. What do I know? Maybe consider which industry you're working in and what makes sense. So obviously we did not put in all the expenses. I think in my list that I did, my expenses were like 25 different types of expenses. So this rate is extremely low right now. But you can see here, nonetheless, the example is working. So this app calculates for you an hourly base rate. But mind, base rate does not mean the actual recommended rate. Okay, the actual recommended rate would be 99, let's say, dollars per hour. Then it also calculates for you small projects. So let's say 15-hour-long projects. Maybe you're doing some game skin designs. Maybe you're doing UI UX project, but it's minor. Then for a medium project, for a large project, for a day rate. So maybe someone wants to book you for a day. Tell them this is what you need. A monthly retainer, repeated work. Repeated work comes with a discount, but nonetheless, it would still be this. I hope this tool brings clarity to how you can price yourself and maybe help create a standard around creator rates, because I feel the biggest problem that we have in the creator economy is that people don't have an aligned mindset. We don't have a worldwide advocacy program. We don't have a union. We don't have like this standardized idea. So I think using a tool like this and purposefully eventually making this the standard of creator pricing. So anyways, if you're done with this, you can download this last page as a PNG. So that's quite convenient. Okay, so you can take this with you. Same works with the download as PDF. So you can see here you have your rates. But the most important download, in my opinion, is actually the JSON file, Safe Data JSON. You might not know this format and it probably won't open or display on your computer. I'm going to download it. And now it's the cool part, because if you put in, like me, on the first step, maybe 20 or more different expenses, you don't want to re-enter this the next time you want to maybe make some changes. What you can do now is you can conveniently pick up the JSON file. And you see, it already tells us it already told us that this has happened. And here you can see all of our former values are restored, and then we can pick it up from here and enter the next value. So please make sure to download the JSON file. As I told you, I'm not storing any of the values that you're putting in there. I'm merely tracking if enough people are visiting the website, so it makes sense to keep it up and running. And please share this with fellow creators. I think it's been overdue that we establish creator pricing. If you want to support me in the work that I do, then consider subscribing to my blog on Paragraph, the 2026 featured article. And in this article, you can actually read about the creator pricing calculator, and you can learn about some other things that I think are very, very important for you as a creator to take care of and set yourself up for some success in 2026.